I mean, at this point, drop down below in the comments if you love Senator John Kennedy, okay? Drop down below in the comments and let me know if you think that Senator John Kennedy is one of the smartest senators that we have in the USA, okay? Let me know your thoughts about that down below in the comments. And, you know, it's just Senator Kennedy is just so highly intelligent and such a class act. And it's amazing to listen to him every single time. And if it wasn't for him, I would not be watching this individual here because, you know, CNN's ratings are just super low for a reason. OK, so shout out to Senator John Kennedy out here in enemy territory, and things get pretty interesting. Shout out to the King Squad. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Thank you for all donations. It's great to see you guys. Let's get right into the video. Let's go.
Strictly for the protection of the federal personnel and the protection of the federal building, they're allowed to temporarily detain and wait for law enforcement to come and arrest them. They do not do any arrest. They are strictly there to detain, to wait for law enforcement to come and handle those demonstrators.
So that was commander of the National Guard units that have been federalized and deployed to the streets of Los Angeles. He later confirmed that some of his troops have already temporarily detained civilians at these protests. Now, joining me now is Republican Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana, who sits on the Senate Judiciary Budget and Appropriations Committee. Senator, very grateful to have you here. This acknowledgement that the National Guard has, they say, temporarily detained civilians. We were just talking with our John Miller Long of the NYPD, who clarified that if you are detained and then not allowed to leave, that there is no technical distinction between that and being under arrest. Do you think a major line has been crossed here?
Well, Casey, I'm still trying to understand. I just left a 5-hour reconciliation meeting, so this is a new issue for me. May I ask, why were they detained? Were they breaking the law, or why were they detained?
Well, this is
a central question.
In fairness to you, this is our breaking just in to us, and then all we know is that it's been in the context of these protests, and they characterized it as having temporarily detained protesters.
Well, under federal law, which applies to the states, the case is called Terry v. Ohio. If a law enforcement official doesn't have probable cause to arrest you, but does have reasonable suspicion, which is a lower standard, to believe that you have been or are about to commit a crime, the Supreme Court has said that law enforcement official can stop you temporarily if they think you have a weapon. For example, if there's a bulge in your jacket, they can frisk you, but they can't detain you for long periods of time without probable cause. It's called stop and frisk, reasonable suspicion, Terry v. Ohio, and it's determined on a case-by-case basis.
And are you comfortable, of course, I think the distinction here being, we do know, according to these reports, that these people were being held to be turned over to law enforcement officials with the authority to decide whether these people should be charged with something. Are you comfortable with these federalized National Guard troops having taken that step?
Well, it depends on why they were detained. If they were detained just because they were protesting and they weren't breaking the law, no, I wouldn't be comfortable with National Guard or local police doing that. On the other hand, if they were in the midst of a riot and were breaking the law, let me put it another way. If somebody's about to throw a rock at me, I hope somebody will detain them, whether it's a National Guard troop or a local cop or a CNN reporter. I hope you'll stop them. But every case is different. Every single case is different.
So, Senator, the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, said earlier today, quote, we're not scared to go further. We're not frightened to do something else if we need to. She was talking about the situation in LA. How do you wish the Trump administration would handle these confrontations? Do you want them to be escalatory, considering what we're seeing on our TV screens? Or do you think it would be better for the country if everyone tried to de-escalate the situation?
Well, nobody wants to see riots. I mean, I would prefer to have local government handle it. I mean, the situation we have here, we have a lot of peaceful protests, and that's fine. That's America. You have the right to do that. But they're not all peaceful protests. A lot of them have turned into riots with people breaking the law, and the people doing that are gangsters, and they're goons, and they're acting like it. Those folks have to be stopped. Look, I love Los Angeles. I love the people of Los Angeles. I think it's one of the greatest cities in the world. I wish this would stop. But someone is going to have to stop the gangsters that are doing this. I'd prefer to have the governor and the mayor do that. They were not able to do that. If they can't do it, then it's the role of the federal government to step in. Hopefully the mayor and the governor will get control of this situation, and the federal government can leave. I'm interested in public safety. I'm not really interested in whether this helps Gavin Newsom become president or helps President Trump's poll numbers or any of that. I don't care about that.
I mean, briefly, Governor Gavin Newsom seems very aware of the political situation. Do you think he's handling this the right way?
I don't think he's handled it well. I think he dug up more snakes than he could kill. I think, and maybe this is unfair, but I can only tell you what I've seen. I think that the governor thought this was a chance to suck in the federal government, and then he could make an argument that the federal government was overreaching, and see, we told you so. Trump was going to try to establish military rule in America.
You think he was baiting Donald Trump?
I do. Yeah, I do, and I think it backfired on him. I think he should have restored order first in our city with the help of the mayor. I think they underestimated how serious these goons were, and he lost control of it. And President Trump stepped in, the federal government stepped in. And I think that's what you're supposed to do. I think the good people of Los Angeles, all they care about is they just want it to stop. You know, stop burning cars and stop throwing rocks at people. Just stop it.
All right.
That's what I want.
Senator John Kennedy, thanks very much for your time today, sir.
Wow, there we have it. Shout out to Senator John Kennedy. Okay, definitely a gem, a national treasure. All right, let me know if you guys down below if you guys think Senator John Kennedy is a national treasure. Okay, and I completely agree with everything he said. You know, as far as Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. Okay, as far as it goes with them, I definitely think that, you know, they were rage baiting Trump. Okay, you know, baiting him in to get a reaction out of him, to get him to act out of character. And Trump already has a plethora of things going on, so there's that. But you definitely see Gavin Newsom. He's all over the place. He's over here saying, "Arrest me, tough guy," to Tom Homan. I wouldn't play like that with Tom Homan. I don't know, you know, Gavin Newsom, he's definitely like out of touch with reality. And then, you know, baiting Trump. Yeah, this guy has to get out of power immediately. You know, he's not the brightest, you know, bulb out of the batch. All right, he's just not there. Okay, and he's doing more harm than good. And in Democrats, if they had it their way, you know, if they were in power over America entirely, I strongly believe this is exactly what America would look like. America would look like California. All right. And California is just a giant liberal cesspool that's just consistently getting set on fire, cities getting destroyed, businesses being looted. Okay, cars being destroyed and cars having rocks thrown at them and all types of craziness. And I really think that that's what the entire country would look like. So that's that. So I just wanted to tie that back to what Senator John Kennedy is saying and state that I think Senator John Kennedy really hit the nail on the head with everything he said, all of his comments. Okay. And yeah, you know, if these were actual protests, well, you know, they have free speech if it was an actual protest. But because it's a riot and they're over here setting cars on fire, they're over here, you know, destroying stores and people's homes and you know, just, you know, creating the apocalypse in the streets. It is just a hot mess. And there needs to be some type of discipline there, some type of correction. And I really think, Trump is doing a pretty decent job with that, with everything. And when I say decent, I mean a pretty good job, okay? A pretty good job with that. There are people who feel that, Trump could be doing more. And I definitely understand where they're coming from. I would personally say that as far as, everything with President Trump goes, and in ICE and these deportations, I personally believe he could do more if he had the Democrats not consistently getting in the way of things. All right, the Democrats consistently try to shut down Trump's plans and get in the way of real progress. So those are some of my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Shout out to the King Squad. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Thank you for all donations, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.